Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. I hope you're doing wonderfully well. This is the Fallout where you find out more about football. It's really good fun as well, and I do little stupid intros like that. If you like stupid intros like that, then hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and strap in for some football chat. Starting with the fact that Bernardo Silva may well be the most complete footballer in the Premier League right now. So, is Bernardo Silva the best player in the Premier League right now? Well, he's been very good this week, let's say that at the very least. Watford versus Man City, 3-1 it finished. And it's your usual stats when it comes to Man City. Utter dominance, 77% possession, 26 shots to 11. When it comes to Watford, apart from having some really satisfying average positions in this one, which is very neat. And I could draw something on that, but I won't. Apart from that, and the odd flashes of brilliance from the likes of Dennis and Cuco Hernandez, they didn't offer that much. We're struggling in terms of getting on the ball as well, which we can show from the statistics here. 239 passes to 830 from Man City. They hung in there, but really the main story of the game was that man, Bernardo Silva. Now, we've spoken on the Fallout about the different roles, the variety of positions that Bernardo Silva has taken up this season. And it's been really impressive because in previous times, he's kind of played out on that right, or he's been one of the front two, but really he's playing as a false nine and just sort of working for the team. But what he's been doing this year brilliantly is he's been fulfilling roles for other people, or allowing them to fulfill those roles. If we look at the average positions from the game at the weekend, we'll see the role that he was playing in this game, which is essentially him being the main man. But this season, we've seen him in a variety of roles. We've seen him on this side here in the early parts of the season when he was helping out Jack Grealish, who's playing on that left-hand side. We've also seen him a little bit deeper as part of a two with Rodri, if you think of that Chelsea game, allowing the team to kind of be solid without the ball, but also help with the midfield press as well. But now he's the guy. He's becoming the guy for Man City right now, as you can see here. And he's getting involved so much more. He's so confident, and he's scoring goals as well. The fact that Kevin De Bruyne is injured so much is often quite a benefit for Man City. I think you saw it last season with Gundogan in terms of his late runs and the goals that he was able to score. But this year it's Bernardo Silva, who's also an absolute steal on FPL. Thank you for the 15 points, Bernardo. So why is he so great now? Well, he's suddenly scoring more goals, and that obviously gets him in the headlines. This is his career best for a Premier League season. 7 goals so far. He's currently on 7 after 15 game weeks, which equals his personal best. This season is also his current best in terms of goals per 90, with 0.52 per 90. The best he's ever averaged up until now is 0.35 in the Prem. This is all aside from the fact that defensively, he's a bit of a monster. He's playing so many games this year as well. When you think of Man City, you think of that rotation. But Bernardo Silva is quite possibly one of the first names on the team sheet. But that side, his shooting is so much more composed this year. It's refined. He's kind of relishing those opportunities. And he looks a lot more assured when he gets in front of goal as well. His shot on target percentage is the highest it's ever been in the Premier League this season. 61.1% of his shots are on target. That comes from that. I think two things. I think it comes from the confidence that he's gained from having a good start to the season and playing games. But also, I think the bit between his teeth. You know, there's a bit of anger, I think. He's at a stage of his career where he doesn't want to be that bit part player. He wants to be the guy. And he is becoming the guy, because before he was facilitating other players. Now he's the guy who gets given the ball. He's really evolved as a player. So for example, last season, he was making 4.19 carries into the final third per 90. This season, it's only 2.99. Now, you would think that that's not that great a thing. You'd think that, okay, he's gone backwards. But no, that's a good stat, because the next stat reveals so much. Last season, he was receiving 4.93 progressive passes per 90. This season, he's receiving 6.94 per 90, which is on average 2 more per game. What this shows is the change in his role. We saw that in his position on the pitch in this game in particular. But the fact that previously he was out wide and he was creating things for others. Now, others are creating things for him, and they're trying to get him on the ball. In this team of superstars, Bernardo Silva is the guy that they're trying to get the ball to. to be able to change your roles so many times at the age of 27 and scoring these ludicrous goals, gorgeous goals, having that rhythm that he has as well, makes me think that he really is one of the most complete players, both with the ball and without the ball. And granted, Salah is amazing, okay? And the question for the comments, I think ultimately, it's tough. If you are given first pick, do you pick Salah over Bernardo Silva? Yeah, you probably do because of the goals, the assists, the guy's on fire, and we talk about him later in this video. But in my opinion, in terms of how you measure a player, in terms of making things easier, he makes more things easier than Mohamed Salah does right now. Because Mohamed Salah is there to be that guy up top, to score those goals, create those assists, and he's outrageous. But Bernardo Silva, in terms of ability on the ball, creating, scoring, defending, he's outrageous, and it's pretty close at the moment. Let me know in the comments below, who would you rather pick right now if you had to start a team? Salah or Bernardo Silva? I think I know who's going to win, but I'd love to hear if anyone believes that Bernardo Silva is a more complete footballer right now in terms of his output for the team than Mohamed Salah. So the Ralf Rangnick era began with a 1-0 victory against Crystal Palace. It was a tight game. Yeah, it was, but it wasn't boring. 0.93 XG for Man United, 0.75 for Crystal Palace. That was reflected, of course, in the scoreline. A 1-0 victory. Fred scoring that goal with his right foot. Palace came and offered a decent amount. 2 big chances for them. Man United didn't have a single big chance, but created 15 total chances. However, when you look into the structure and the style of how Rangnick set up, I think that's where the story lies when it comes to this match. It was very, very interesting. I'm going to show you the average positions, but what I do want to show you is the fact that it was that 4-2-2-2 that was told to you 10 days ago. We said on the channel 4-2-2-2. Fred and McTominay are going to be here to stay, and Bruno Fernandes could be on that left-hand side with Rashford a little bit further forward. Here's a screenshot just to prove it. Another reason why you should subscribe to the James Lawrence Allcott channel, because you find out things first, basically. But it was interesting and it was good and I liked it. They controlled the central areas. You can see that from the average positions here. You know, we talk about that 4-2-2-2. Diego Dalot seems to be a flavour of the month at the moment. We also kind of called that on the channel as well in the video about Ralf Rangnick and how he might set up. But you have that 4, and then you have the 2 here that essentially it is a 6 and then a 4. Ronaldo dropped deep a little bit more to be that target man at times, and there was a great chance for Fernandes that came from him stretching it but still being that target man and laying off the ball to Fernandes. Fernandes then played on that left-hand side, Sancho as well, and Rashford looking to get in behind for the team in part of that front 2 that he made up with Ronaldo. It was interesting that he set up that way. I think it worked pretty well. The fullbacks did well for the side as well. It contained Crystal Palace quite a lot. It allowed them not to get out and play wide and get the ball to their wide players. They had to play a little bit more vertical, which they were able to do at times, but overall they were kind of contained by the fact that, you know, Man United was so narrow. The style was interesting as well. So for Man United, their average pass streak was 4 passes. Crystal Palace's their average pass streak was 3. I think that says both sides of it for me. First of all, being able to stop Crystal Palace, be more aggressive, and you could see that hugely with the heat maps of Fred, for example. That's how you want him to play, don't you? You want him to play on the front foot, go and get at the opposition, win the ball, and then play a short 5-yard, 10-yard pass to a better footballer. That's what you want to see. McTominay dropped a little bit deeper at times and got on the ball there to start off attacks. But again, really positive in how they were defending, being higher up the pitch as well. And this is certainly the highest we've seen the average positions of Man United for a long time. But also how they were playing much quicker. I think that will get refined over time. And I think there's a reason to be hopeful for Man United. And I think this is the best way forward, this 4-2-2-2 system. So expect to see a lot more of this, and I think more exciting counter-attacking football, and also a few long balls at times. I thought Bruno Fernandes played some great passes in this game as well, looking to get Rashford in. He went and hurt Gay on that right-hand side as well. So reason for optimism when it comes to Man United. Watch this space, especially with the great run of games that they've got coming up. West Ham continue to accumulate mass as they beat Chelsea after a couple of difficult games for them. They have struggled in recent weeks and needed a victory. Didn't expect them to get it. On ESPN, I was saying, I think this West Ham team's tired, but they continue to astound me. And Tuchel said it himself in his post-match interview that, look, West Ham, we need to deal with being tired because West Ham have been able to deal with it. And they've had a lot of injuries as well. And it was a great game, you know. It shows how far West Ham have come. I think the crowd really helped them as well. But they went for it. Both teams went for it, which is great. You expect that from Chelsea, but I think you saw that in the chances and the stats as well. I think we expected Chelsea to have the ball. They had 19 shots, 7 shots on target, but in terms of big chances, just the one for them. 2 big chances for West Ham from 11 shots, 5 on target. So they came and had a little go here, West Ham, whereas normally I think you would imagine that they were sort of, I don't know, cowering a bit of a ball, but that's not them anymore. And Chelsea, they kept them down to not that many high-quality chances. From a tactical point of view, the thing that I thought was really interesting was how they matched them up, West Ham. And they did. They really went for it. Copying that 3-5-2 from Chelsea. And it was great. I thought it was really good and pretty brave, you know, really, really brave. And the way they were able to stop Reece James, I thought was a big part of this. So I think it takes balls for David Moyes to go, we're going to go man for man here, head to head, and see if you can beat us one-on-one or play around us. And they're so well organised, West Ham, that they're able to stop them. As you can see, look, if I just keep flicking between the two, you can see that they really did match them up at times. And the front two Well, certainly the front two, but then also I think Jarrod Bowen's positioning in this game was really, really interesting because, first of all, the wing-backs were really, really positive for West Ham. Ben Johnson really high up here. Kufal, who we know will get forward for the team a lot of the time and put pressure on them. But in particular on this left-hand side, Ben Johnson, of course, that means he's in front of Reece James. And they know that Chelsea have so much influence and attacking threat from their 2 wing-backs. So the ability to kind of get them to stay back was really important in this game. Reece James is averaging 4.57 touches in the penalty area per 90 so far this season. In this game, he was held to 1 single touch in West Ham's penalty area. That was because Ben Johnson kept pushing him back and allowed him the ball in less effective areas. Reece James still made the most passes in the Chelsea team with 81. He had the most touches with 88, but he was simply not able to get into the areas that he wanted to carry on with the goal-scoring exploits that he's been able to do so far this season. The other awkward thing for Chelsea was the position of Jarrod Bowen, who was playing around here. And so what that meant was you've got Thiago Silva, who's already got his handful with Antonio as that central striker, having to deal with Jarrod Bowen as well. And Rudiger, who's the starting point for so much of Chelsea's attacks down that left-hand side in terms of progressing the ball out of the back 3. He found it difficult because ultimately he had a choice between does he gamble and leave Jarrod Bowen, a man of real pace, up against Thiago Silva in a 2-on-1, or does he tuck back and play it safe? He was caught between the two quite often, and ultimately he played a bit more of a conservative match than he normally would do, and that was down to the work rate and the threat of Jarrod Bowen, who's come into his own this season. All that said, sometimes you need a bit of prime Barclays, rare to medium rare, to just be plopped on your plate. And that's what happened for Masuaku, who crossed the ball and it ended up going in the net. That's a little bit of luck that you need sometimes. But overall, in terms of the XG of the game, you would normally expect Chelsea to be dominant. They weren't. 1.03 for them, 1.67 for West Ham. So congratulations on your continuation of becoming massive. Still to come, we're going to talk about the mesmeric Mohamed Salah. But before we get into it, please do consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button to get this video out to the masses. Before we get to Liverpool, let's talk about Southampton versus Brighton, because I think there's something interesting here in terms of how they're setting up. Because Southampton, well, first of all, Maupay, what a house. What is he like? He absolutely loves it, doesn't he? He cannot help himself. We did a video recently on the channel talking about the most annoying players in the Premier League. And Maupay, he's that annoying I can't even say his name, was an absolute shoo-in, sneaking that goal. And what I find amazing, if you go back and watch that goal, is the fact that there are all these Brighton fans here, but he can't help himself. He doesn't go to the fans that are cheering him. He runs off to everyone else just to wind them up by going like this. Unbelievable. In terms of the game itself, the little point I wanted to make was that Southampton struggled to hold a lead. This is now 14 points that they've dropped from winning positions. Southampton have conceded 14 goals in the second half of matches. And if you look at the momentum bar here, you can see how well they started the game and how badly they finished it. This is at home, of course, as well. Now, this could be down to a few factors, and I'd love Southampton fans to sort of reveal this one to me in the comments, what they think the deal is here. Because is it the fact that, you know, it has to be the way that they're set up a little bit, because the style's largely dependent on allowing others to have the ball a lot of the time and then applying pressure and breaking from there. but it means you often kind of invite pressure as well. And overall, I think a team like Brighton's a great example of this. It's a team that likes to have the ball. And when you have the ball, you have control. The second element of this might be, the lineup here. Look at the back. Look at Livramento, Lianco, Salisu, Kyle Walker-Peters. 19, 24, 22, 24. The only outfielder over the age of 29 in the starting 11 is in this game was Romeo, who's 30. So is there a lack of experience that's hurting them and they're going to grow into it? Or is there a deeper issue? We'll keep an eye on that one over the coming weeks. But if you are a Southampton fan, or if you're a Brighton fan and you're at the game, let us know what you think in the comments below. Another one where the scoreline doesn't really tell the true story. Wolves losing to a late Divock Origi goal. 1-0 was the score. But if we have a look at the stats here, Liverpool utterly dominant. 67% possession, 17 shots to 3. 1 shot on target for Wolves. And I think that ended up near the corner flag as well. This was quite reminiscent of that victory that against Sheffield United a couple of seasons ago. Liverpool fans will remember this one, where it was the year that they went and brought the title back to Anfield. And they've got it, haven't they? They have got a lot going on at the moment. It was really, really true dominance in how they played in the game. And they stuck to the task, kept going. And I think you used to see this with the great Man United sides. And Gary Neville would say this was like, keep playing. We'll get our chance. We'll score our goal. And you can see, look how deep this Wolves side is. Great organisation, I think, by them. You can see that there. But overall, really very dominant display from Liverpool in this game. We've got to talk about Mohamed Salah. And I am ready, and it's done. Rubber stamped. Mohamed Salah is officially not a selfish player anymore. 13 goals and 9 assists in his last 15 matches. The guy is an absolute monster. The goal against Wolves, we're going to talk about Divock Origi and, of course, the fact that he scores that goal. But that goal doesn't exist if Salah doesn't have a touch like that. Yes, of course, I think another element, if you want to go one step back, Van Dijk with that great pass. I don't think the other centre-backs that they've had previously have been able to make those same passes when he was out of the side, so to have him back is huge. But that pass is one thing. That touch from Salah it's like a pass. It's absolutely disgusting. And the creation that he's providing for this team, as I said, 13 goals, 9 assists in 15 matches. It's absolutely amazing what he's doing here. On average, he is creating 0.73 goal-creating actions from live passes alone. This isn't a guy who's on set pieces and putting balls in the box, and that's helping with his goal creation. And again, I say goal creation. I'm not talking shot creation. He's not creating chances. The guys are taking those chances as well because he's creating such great stuff. Last season, this number was 0.29. Goal creating actions. 0.29 has jumped up to 0.73. So that propaganda of Salah is a selfish player, take that stat, put it in your back pocket and reveal it whenever you need it, because he's just unbelievable. He really, really is unbelievable. Let's finish off with a diagram and something to keep an eye out on over the next coming weeks, because of course Liverpool is so dominant and the analysis of teams is so vast and in such depth that you've got to try new things. And this was something that seemed to be happening quite a few times in the Wolves game and could be something that we see a lot more. So keep an eye out for this. Salah getting the ball. Trent, yes, he is out wide, but Salah sort of making his way and skipping past defenders across that 18-yard line and then looking to make that pass into Mane or Jota. It's interesting because you've got so many defenders who are concentrating on Salah that they're forgetting about everyone else. And that little pass, or be it a shot as well if he wants to take it, it gives him some really lovely little options where he can have that shot, and if there's a rebound, you've got Mane in on it or Jota in on it, or he can make those little passes or those delicate little crosses as well if he wants to do that early as well. He's amazing. What a player. Absolutely flying at the moment. Imagine not having him in your FPL team. Imagine not captaining him the whole season as well. Cheers, Mo. Guys, if you've enjoyed the Fallout, do me a favour. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. And bloody get involved in the comments. Have a great week. Go and dominate. I'll see you in the next one.